Are the Nazis still in Argentina?
Yeah, I didn't agree with that. I mean, if they're alive. But, yeah.
Maybe they're not alive, but their children.
Descendants, yes. The whole south of Argentina, they are very white and very. They're colonies that they even celebrate like Oktoberfest.
What?
No, just all over this. That's good. Okay. That's where we are. No. We're not on 130. What did you say? 131? Yeah, okay.
No, we finished 129.
We finished 120, so we're on 130 then. Okay. Right. So the last thing we were saying was that the lesson of the Rebbe Zusha is that, don't be satisfied just by getting what you asked for. Ask for more, right? And so that's why he was telling the Chosin, that you prayed that God should get you out of Russia. Good. Did you imagine that you're going to get married on the beach in Tel Aviv? Wow, God is giving you, you're getting married. And he was considerably older, by the way. This Avram Shifrin is his last name. And Reb Shlomo says, no, don't stop praying. Pray for children. Baruch Hashem gave him a son and a daughter. And he's saying, pray for the whole world. Pray for everybody. So, Zuriyut im Tochen. So zugiyut means partnership, right? Finding your soulmate, ben zug. A zug is a set. That's what zug means. So, חברים, אנא התקרבו אליי והקשיבו. Please come close and listen. כתוב בתורה ומילאו את הארץ וכבשוה. Shem says to Adam, fill the land and conquer it. Conquer it. But it basically means like, it's like the Torah is saying, like manage the earth properly, right? So, תפקידו של האדם הוא למלא את העולם באור, בברכה, בקדושה. So, he's interpreting, he's saying, what do you mean fill the land? With what? Right? So the simple reading that you would understand of fill the land is that fill the land, have a lot of children, right? Populate the land. So Reb Shlomo is saying it means fill the earth, fill the world with light, with blessing, and with holiness. אנשים רוצים לכבוש את העולם. People want to conquer the world, right? You want to conquer the ocean, you want to conquer the air, you want to conquer everything, you want to be like the master over everything. אבל הם שכחו שדבר ראשון צריכים למלא את העולם. The first thing you need to do is you've got to fill the world, right? In other words, if you go back to the second line, what does it say? It says, "Umil'u et haaretz v'kivshuha," right? It doesn't say conquer it first and then fill it. It says first fill it and then conquer it, right? So, this is an amazing lesson. חברים, כשפוגשים מישהו ורוצים לדעת אם הוא מלא או ריק, when you meet someone and you want to know if they're full or they're empty, זה מאוד פשוט, it's very simple. אם יש לו סודות בלב, if the person has secrets in his heart, הוא מלא. Now, רק סודות יכולים למלא את הלב. Only secrets can fill the heart. מי שאין לו סודות, הוא מאוד ריק. Someone who doesn't have secrets is empty. הוא מלא בריקנות. He's filled with emptiness. And this is like Dr. Allen is looking at me and saying, like, what does this mean? And it's a very good question. I know that Reb Shlomo on many occasions spoke about secrets. And I'll tell you the honest truth, for years I had no idea of what he's talking about. You understand? I guess I was very empty. Whatever the case. But let's look at it this way.
There's a saying in English, if you don't have skeletons in a closet, you haven't lived, or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds like very political, but anyway. So, let's go very simple, so to speak, okay? Remember we talked about, Michal was here, we talked about masks, right? And that all creatures have masks. Rabbi Steinzal speaks about this. We all have masks, right? What makes the human being different from others is that we have more masks than other creatures, and we change them very often. Okay. So this is a mask. Hi, how are you? There's a mask of sadness. There's a mask of worry. There's a mask of it's all right. It's a mask, right? Mm-hmm. Now, so let's say you do this exercise. You're taking off one mask. What do you find under this? What do you find under this mask? You find another mask. You take off that mask. You find another mask. You take that one off, and you get down to the very essence of your being, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, what do you come to? Do you come to a place where there's nothing? Or do you come to a place where, yeah, but that is a secret.
So you come to a pinpoint.
You come to whatever it is, right? If you want, whatever words you want to use, right? But you come down to the very, very smallest point of your being. Let's say that, okay? But that point, that essence point, that is a secret. What do I mean that it's a secret? What does it mean that it's a secret? It's not something that's revealed, right? In other words, there's something there, but it's concealed. It's hidden, right? Sin is hidden. Let's say, for example, you say to me, Shalom, I want to tell you a secret, right? What does it mean you want to tell me a secret? It's something that's concealed, it's hidden, right? And you've decided that you want to now share it, right? But what if you don't have any secrets, right? That means basically everything is superficial. Everything is just on the surface, right? Now, if you were to ask yourself, what is the secret of my being? Okay, what is the secret, what is the sod of my being? Okay? Now, just to help clarify this a little bit. In the Navi, in the Prophet, it refers to the Torah as being Mishal HaKadmoni. That the Torah is the parable of the primal first being of all existence. It's a parable of God. Okay? What does that mean? That means that when you're learning the Torah, when we're learning Torah, what we're learning is, we're learning God. Okay? So the obvious question is, you're reading a passage in the Torah, what were you learning in the Gemara today? Which subject? But that's in Chumash. But what we're learning in okay, so let's say Korach. This week's parsha is Korach. Korach does a rebellion and all that, right? This is a parable of God. In other words, when you're learning about Korach, you're learning about God. Okay? Let's take another passage in the Torah. Someone gives you, says, here, do me a favor, I'm going away, I need somebody to take care of my computer, right? Would you mind being the shomer? Would you mind watching my computer? You say yes. And then it gets stolen. So there's rules in the Torah, what do you do now? Okay? This is a parable of God. My animal's out in the field grazing, your animal's out in the field grazing. My animal has a psychotic episode and goes and charges your animal and kills it. The Torah says how much I have to pay. Right? This is a parable of God. What does that mean, that it's a parable? It means that this is the way, what we're reading over here, we're reading about something that's happening in this world. But this is a parable of something from a higher level, which is a parable from something on a higher level, from something on a higher level. And it says concerning Shlomo HaMelech, in describing his wisdom, says that he was able to give 3,000 parables on everything in the Torah. And each parable that he gave was a step up. Okay? Right? Talk about teaching thinking. A real IQ test is, I don't know if you ever tried this. Sit down, take any idea, and see how many parables can you come up with. That's real brilliance, right? And especially if each parable is a parable on the parable on the parable, right? Okay. Now the ultimate parable, the ultimate of the analog, the nimshal, is all about Hashem. Okay. Now that's, each parable is revealing another level of what word am I looking for? It's revealing another level of what? What are we talking about? The secret. Right? Now, B'ezrat Hashem, everybody should find their soulmate. Okay? Now, you find this person, and welcome. Please come in. Here's another book. Here's another book. What's your name?
Yeah.
Batya. Shalom. Somebody else here with you?
For your wife.
You came with the Kala?
Yeah.
You're the Shomeret?
Yeah.
Okay. Mazel tov. We're on page 130. So before she leaves, I have to ask her a question to Kala, okay? So don't. Now, suppose, for example, you meet somebody and they say, I'm your soulmate. Okay, great. Now you're getting to know your soulmate. And what are they about? Well, 7:30 in the morning is exercise, 8 o'clock in the morning is breakfast. Let's say they daven also, okay, they pray too. They're religious, okay, good. And then they go to work, 12 o'clock is lunch, 6 o'clock is supper, 8 o'clock is the evening news, 9 o'clock we go for a walk, 10 o'clock we do a bit more exercise, take a shower, sleep. Tomorrow morning, the same thing. The next morning, the same thing. The next morning, the same thing, right? And you say to this person, wait a minute, is this you? This is all there is to you? And the person says, yes, that's me. There's nothing else. Right? What does that mean? They're saying, this is me. There's nothing else inside. Right? I might as well be living in a barn. Might as well be living in a barn. I'm just. Okay. So, in other words, any real person has a secret, right? If there's something, what it basically means is that you're looking for something inside the person, something that's not obvious. Okay, that's the point. So what he's saying that if you want to know if the person is full or empty, right? If they don't have any secrets, it means that this meaning is just saying that there's nothing inside, there's nothing there, right? If the person is full, right, it means there's some secrets there. There's something inside. That's
not necessarily good or bad.
Not necessarily good or bad, but a secret to their being, right?
But secrets could be things that you know and you don't want to share.
Could be that also, right?
Like your soul that you're not even aware of what it is.
That's also possible. Yes. Yeah. Okay. But what do you call it? But if somebody says, "This is it. There's nothing else," that means they're empty, right?
This is me, and what I do this and this and this.
This is it. Yeah. There's nothing else, right? There's a woman that. And I think she has 6 children, 7 children. She's a righteous convert. And when we were here for a year in 1989 when I first met her, and she was in the process of converting. And I wanted to understand, why? Because when back to Montreal, I never really met I never met a Ger Tzedek that I understood. I met people, I taught in schools where a lot of the kids, the parents were converts, but they were all situations where, a Jewish man and a non-Jewish woman, or a Jewish woman and a non-Jewish man, they were going to go get married. The family wanted them to marry somebody Jewish, and the other person agreed to convert. You understand it? But I never really met somebody that was really wanted to be Jewish, And here I met this woman, and she, I saw it, this is for real, Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, she had been in India, and she met some Israelis, some Jewish kids there, and she had become friends with them, and they were all going to go back to the States, and they said to her, hey, we're stopping off in Israel, why don't you come with us? And she said, okay. And she came to the hotel, and she said, wow, she found what she was looking for. So I wanted to understand that, okay? And so she told me that when she was 6 years old, she comes from some kind of a little a hick town. You know what a hick town means? Like, a dorf. That you understand, right? He speaks German. And dorf in Yiddish and German is the same word. It's a little hick town, Huh? Yeah.
Dorf.
Okay. And that's why phone is spelled with a P and you pronounce it F, right? Okay. So what do you say? Pass me the phone? Anyway, so and her father was the kind of guy that had a job, and then the weekends were spent. Him and his friends would go buy 2 big cases of beer. They'd spend the whole weekend playing with the car, like tinkering with the car, changing the carburetor, changing the spark plugs, and this and that, and so on. And she says when she was 6 years old, and drinking beer, of course, and when she was 6 years old, she went to her father and she said, "Daddy, tell me about eternity." And her father said to her, "Little girl, there ain't no such thing." And she says she ran away crying. She started to cry and she ran away from him. And she just wouldn't believe that there's no such thing as eternity. Right? And eternity is a secret. Mm-hmm. Understand this? Do you see it? You don't see it, right? It's a secret, okay? So that's the idea of a secret. Okay? You have to have some kind of a secret. You understand? It's otherwise you're empty. And there's something got to be inside. Okay? So he says, "Im yesh lo sodot balev," if the person has secrets in his heart. We're about the third. We're over here. If that helps you. Okay. The line starts with the word "im." Im yesh lo sodot balev, if the person has secrets in his heart, hu malei, then he's full. Rak sodot yecholim lemalei et halev. Only secrets can fill the heart. Mi she'en lo sodot. Someone who doesn't have secrets, hu mod reik, he's very empty. Hu malei bereikanut. Adam bal sadot nishmato meleya. A person that's a master of secrets, he has a bunch of secrets, his soul is full.
This isn't implying that secrets are a thing.
Yes.
Sometimes secrets are...
No, we're not talking about that kind of secret. We're not talking about a secret like, hey, put this in your pocket and let's go quietly, don't tell anybody, We're not talking about that kind of secret. We're talking about secrets of existence, secrets of life. What your life is about, who you are, what are you about, and so on. Okay?
What I'm hesitating about is I haven't spent time thinking about all this. So because I don't know who I am, that's called a secret?
But you do have something that's driving you from inside. That's the secret. It's okay. If you call me at 5 o'clock, I'll tell you.
Call you at 5 o'clock. Judy will make you hang up the phone.
Not in the morning.
You're talking about people that say...
One thinks what one wants to think.
No. What?
You're talking about people that say, this is my life, what I do, and this is my
and there's
life.
Nothing else. There's nothing else. Yeah. That's empty.
You don't have questions, what's going on, what comes next, there's no that.
Right.
But obviously, it doesn't mean they're really empty. Because
they're living empty.
They're living empty, but really everybody's full.
Exactly. Well,
everybody wanders. The question is how far you wander.
It's unfortunately there are people that they just know one thing,
But that's fine. To their perception,
right?
To our eyes, we may be empty. But they're truly full.
Right, but even to themselves, you understand? You ask, You sleep so that you can have energy to work. Why do you work? So that you can buy food. Why do you want food? So you can have energy to work. Understand? That's the whole geschäft. Right? Okay. So he says, חתן קדוש, אברהם וכלה קדושה אליינורה. אנחנו מברכים אתכם שיהיו לכם סודות משותפים, סודות קדושים. So now he's giving them this bracha, and he's saying, I'm blessing you, we're all blessing you, that you should have secrets that you share. That you should have holy secrets. Yeah, so Sodot Meshutafim, it means that secrets that are shared by both of you. Shebeitchem yeh malei sodot, that your house should be filled with secrets. Shechayechem yehu milei sodot, that your lives should be filled with secrets. In other words, basically, if you want to just substitute a different word, he's blessing them that there should be something really deep between you. And so if you want to put another word into it, there should be something really deep. It shouldn't just be like, okay, yeah, ho-hum, we're married, and, we just live together, and, we share this house, and so on and so on. That's all chitzoniyut, it's all external stuff, right? There should be something that, there's really something here, right? So going back to the beginning of this passage that we just read, right, going back to the top of the page, where he said that, that the verse says, Umilu et haaretz v'kifshuha, right? In other words, and we pointed out that it says first fill the earth and then it says conquer it, right? So this is a very deep lesson. In other words, first let me open it up to you guys. So you meet somebody, right? And let's take these words and apply it to the encounter, right? And somebody becomes their friend, right? So I'm going to just use this word, and I'm going to borrow this word, okay? So you've acquired the friendship, right? You've acquired the friendship. You've so to speak conquered this person to be your friend, right? Okay. Now, how did you do this, right? So it could be that it was on the level of, I know that you like ice cream, so I give you ice cream, and I know that now you're going to be my friend, right? That's straightforward. That's just conquering, right? Okay. Or in other ways. But the real acquisition of a friend is that this other person feels that they feel full. If there was something that was empty in them before, okay? And you've given them something that makes them feel full. Let's explain it some more. Okay. You know that there's already been published a couple of volumes of Hebrew words that have moved into other languages. Okay. I don't know how many, but a couple of thousand for sure. I'll give you a couple of examples. Regular, right? Ragil. It's from the Hebrew. Regel. Okay, there's lots of words like that. Okay, Ora. What's the Hebrew word? Oh, right. Okay. Now take the word Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Hashem Tzvakot Melochol Haaretz Kevado. All the world is filled with His glory. Right. Now take the word glory. and substitute Hebrew letters. G, Gimel. L, Lamed. Okay? Gal, which means a wave. Ori, Aleph, Vav, Resh, Yud. A wave of light. Right? Okay? Wave of my light, right? So what's real kavod? You know what real kavod is? Is that when people are within your aura, they feel elevated and fulfilled. Your real kavod is that the people around you feel special when they're in your presence, right? In other words, what have you given them? You've given them something. What have you given them? What? Say, speak up. Yeah, but what? You've shared your light.
Yes.
You've shared your light.
Also, it could be like you give them like a mirror, just so they can see themselves.
Also, right? Many things, but whatever it is, if instead of them feeling like that you put them down, like they're not worth, they're not worth very much. On the contrary, you've elevated them, right? Yeah. So this is the concept of umiluet haaretz v'kivshuha, right? You're meeting somebody. The first step is give them something that they will feel elevated, right? And all you have to do, you don't have to give them ice cream necessarily. Just the way you say hello, okay? And then that's how you acquire the real friendship. Okay? You're gonna like this. But he's gonna laugh. Maybe he's gonna laugh. I'm telling you.
Before I laugh, I have to hear it.
You want to bet? Are you betting? He's gonna laugh, right? He's already laughing. Look at him. I met this Lubavitcher Shliach in Denver. Great guy, Yossi Serebransky. So he says to me that when he was getting married, we were talking about the issue of shalom bayis, peace in the home. So he says that when he was getting married, he asked his mashpia. Now the mashpia in the Lubavitcher yeshiva is the one who's sort of in charge of the study of Chassidut. Okay. So in the Lubavitcher yeshivas, Chassidut is studied in the morning and at night. And at night is usually like from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Okay. So he asks his mashpia. Now he also noticed that his mashpia, every Shabbos he'd come to the yeshiva like at 7 in the morning, and he wouldn't go home to make kiddush before 3 in the afternoon. So he said to him, "How does this affect your shalom bayit, your peace in your home?" So he said to him, "If you come to shul at 10 o'clock in the morning and you go home at 3 in the afternoon, you're going to have a big struggle and a battle in the house. But if you come to shul at 7 in the morning and you go home at 3, then there's going to be shalom bayit." Right? In other words, if you're seriously, if you're just sleeping in and then because you slept in, then you come home late, she's going to give you trouble. But if you're taking the whole prayer seriously, that you come to shul 2 hours before it begins, right, and you stay 2 hours longer, you're going to have peace in the home. So here's the part you're going to like, Michal. She says, "I noticed also that you never go home at night before 10 o'clock at night. How does that affect, how do you handle shalom bayis coming home so late?" So he said, "For that, God invented chocolate ice cream." We laughed. For that, God invented chocolate ice cream. Okay? Anyway,
Yeah,
so
it's the assumption that the angry wife likes chocolate ice cream.
or that chocolate ice cream will prevent her from getting angry. And I was like, yes, of course.
Most women are health conscious. It's amazing. Like the second half. That's a funny thing.
Okay, but you laughed. We got you to laugh. It's okay. Good. Anyway, the point is like this. I was listening.
I'm going to ask you what you learned in yeshiva, and I will forget everything except that women can be tempted by chocolate. Reb Shlomo, please don't tell jokes in the middle of your year.
So, I should keep my day job, right? Okay.
That's funny.
Anyway, so the thing is like this. Like I was listening to a tape in Yiddish from this Rav from New Square, like the Square Hasidim, and it was a talk that he was giving to young married guys, and he was talking about Shana Rishona. The first year, the Torah says that the first year that you get married, the husband is exempt from most public duties, even exempt from going to the army. It's because it says that he has to be available to make his wife happy. The Simachat Ishto should make his wife happy. And he says to these guys who were learning in Koilel, he says, you think that you're sitting and learning all day, and you come home, and your wife is giving you supper, and you're doing her a favor. You're talking to her for 5 minutes. He says that's what you think is like making your wife happy. In other words, you got to make sure that whatever you're doing, as fulfilling as you feel by what you're doing, your wife should feel fulfilled by it too. And so she's got to be a part of it also. And we spoke about this once, that the sons of Rebbe once came into the Beis Medrash, and you see somebody's very happy and says, what are you so happy about? He says, I just learned like 10 pages of Gemara in depth. And the sons of Rebbe says to him, if you did it in the name of all of Israel, I'm also happy, because then I have a part in it. If you didn't do it in the name of all of Israel, I'm not interested. Understand, the problem that we're having today is that our brothers and sisters who are not learning, they don't feel any fulfillment from the people who are sitting and learning. So they don't feel like they're a part of it. Understand? They gotta feel like they're a part of it. They gotta feel that, wow, I'm really glad that you're sitting and learning now, because I feel some kind of increase in the light in my life. I feel some kind of a benefit from it. Now, how are you going to make them do that? How are you going to make them feel that? Well, maybe you should make sure that you share it with them some way. Somehow you got to share it. Right? It's umilu et haaretz v'kivshuha. Fill the emptiness, and then it'll be yours. Okay? If I'm learning Torah, and if that's the whole thing, but we learned it by Chanukah. What did we learn by Chanukah, Michal? Where do you light the Chanukah candles? By the window, by outside, right? So that everybody else can benefit from your light.
He says v'kivshuha. Rabbi just said that if you fill the world, then it would be yours.
That's right.
Is that what the kivshuha sounds like? Another, fill the world, v'kivshuha,
right,
and do another thing.
No, that's this.
You're saying that's the way it's working.
This is the way it's working. Like that?
I like that very much, but I didn't think that's what he was saying. I'm saying I did not understand.
Yeah.
Right? I like that.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's probably the rationale between Mishloach and those two, probably. Because you are filling another symptom.
Matanas Levianim, Mishloach Manos, yes. Yeah. Okay. So now, everything, yeah. Okay. So now he goes on and he says, Kisui Pnei HaKala, the covering of the face of the Kalef. Yeah. Hayachas bein ahava l'sod, the relationship between love and secret. So he says, when you want to do mashu mo'ad amok, I want you to know something very deep. Kishoavim mishahu when you love somebody, hakol hofech l'sod. Everything turns into a secret. Im lo ahavim mishu v'omrim lo shalom. If you don't love somebody and you say shalom, ein kan sod. There's no secret. Kulam shamu et zeh. Everybody heard it. Aval im ahavim mishu v'omrim lo shalom. But if you love somebody and you say shalom, the malay sodot is full of secrets. Im ahavim mishu v'omrim lo ma nishma, the malay sodot. You love somebody and you say, hey, what's happening? It's full of secrets. You understand what he's saying?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? You understand? You understand what he's saying? He's saying, in other words, it's the same words are being spoken, but when there's love, it's full of secrets. I told you, I one night I stayed at the parents of one of our friends here in Teaneck or Muncie, whatever Muncie was. I come into the house, and the house was full of tchotchkes. It's not a German word. Huh? Well, I don't know if it's necessarily collectibles, but things that people collect. Yeah, it's like like these little, like when you go in the shuk and they have a little carved wooden camel, for 10 shekels, and if you bargain, you can get it for 5. And then you put it on the shelf. It's a tchotchke. It's not, it's a little thing. The house was full of things like that. Never saw anything like it. People collect, when they go on trips, they collect a cup from there, or whatever it is, like a memorabilia. But this house was full of tchotchkes. And my initial reaction was, what? And there were hundreds of them, all over the house. But I knew this man and his wife, and so I took a moment to think about it. And what I realized was that whenever he went somewhere, if he went to buy milk, or if he went to the bakery, wherever he went, he'd bring home a little tchotchke. He'd spend another $1 and buy a little tchotchke. And what he was doing was every time, every one of those things, what they were screaming? I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Understand? That's what he's saying is that if you love somebody, then it's full of secrets. Right? That tchotchke has got a secret. I love you. Right? If you don't love somebody, this is what you got me. Right? This is what you got me? Cheapskate. This is all you spend? Right? Okay? So that's, you understand? So when you love somebody, and what we learned already a few times, what's the root of the word ahava? Is hav. Hav means to give. Right? If there's love, it's full of secrets. Yeah, I said one word, shalom, but it's full of secrets. Right? I gave you a piece of cake. It's full of secrets. I said, how are you doing? It's full of secrets. If you don't love them, so there's no secret there, right?
I'm having difficulty with that word secret.
It's okay. No, when I say it's okay, don't misunderstand me. It's not that I don't care. There's certain things that it's not a matter of somebody explaining it to you, but it's a matter of you spending more time thinking about it. And because, like you said before, very correctly, we're not used to thinking this way. But if you think about it, and I know that you will, you'll begin to see it. You understand? But you need to, in other words, you need to do the thinking about it and figure it out. And you will.
So why use the word secret? Why not use the word connection?
But connection is basically a sod. You understand? That's the point. Is that he's using the word like for you daven Ashkenaz or Sfarad. You're a Lubavitcher. You daven Nesuchavi, don't you?
My two youngest brothers do. Basically, I'm not a.
Do you Friday night? Do you say Kigavna or you say Bememet Likin?
No, I say Kigavna because that's.
Okay, so what do you say in Kigavna? You say Rosa de Shabbos, the secret of Shabbos. That's the second paragraph of Kigavna begins with the word Raza, the secret. Raz means a secret. You know what else? The word Raz is the numerical value of 207. What's the numerical value of Or?
Oh, the 207.
Also 207, right? So the light within something that you don't see, that is the sod, that is the secret.
The light that you don't see is a secret.
And the light we don't see in other people too is also a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Now when you are at kindly, you reveal the secret.
You begin to experience it.
But there's another secret on it.
Of course.
What is the secret?
Well, the Alter Rebbe basically he gives the exercise that when you start going inside, right, and you try to discover who is the I within the I. Who is the I within me, right? And what you're going to discover is, after you've taken all the masks off, you're going to come down to your neshama. Okay? Who is the I of your neshama?
There's no real I. The I is a definition, is a separation.
What?
The neshama is a full. When I say I, and
No,
That's
but one
already-
second. So you've come down to that your essence being is your neshama, right? Good. What's the essence of your neshama? What's the identity of your neshama? Where is that from? Now, if you really meditate on this deeply, you come to a whole other realization that Hashem is no longer just God outside there, but Hashem is there.
right. That's where the secret is.
That's where it begins and ends.
Let me ask you something. Maybe you don't want to answer it now, but when you just said now, I know that we have Nefesh Eloki and the Nefesh Be'enim. Do you want to
Right.
explain what?
So you have to understand that the same word in different contexts can be used. In other words, the same words could be used in different contexts and have a slightly different meaning. Okay, so when you use the word nefesh eloki and nefesh shabami, which means the divine soul and the animal soul. So here the word nefesh is basically being used as the driving energy of your soul and the driving energy of the body. Okay, so the nefesh bahami, what the animal soul is interested in gratification of the self. Okay. You wake up in the morning, you look at the clock, you see it's time to go to shul. The nefesh eloki says, "Oh my God, I want to go daven. I want to go pray." Nefesh bahami says, "Oh my God, I want to sleep some more." Right? Okay, so it's two different. And the avodah, the services, the whole point of the services is to who's going to be in charge, and that ultimately we want the nefesh bahami to say, I want to be part of what the nefesh eloki wants to do.
And what he said, when you get to that deep part and you find that.
Yeah, the deepest part is your nefesh eloki, not your nefesh bahami. Okay, so page 131. When two people love each other, and they're walking together. Nachon, it's true, correct. Everybody sees, Moshe and Chani walking in the street. אבל האמת היא שרק בורא עולם ראה אותם. But the truth is, only the Creator saw them to begin with. Tehila, you're going to live without Batya? No. But if you have 5, I'll be free in 5 minutes. I need to ask you something. Okay? Okay. She's getting married tomorrow. So now you see Moshe and Chana walking in the street. Who was the first one to see them together? Who was the first one to see them together before they were born? Hashem. Right? Hashem is the one who made the Hashem is the one who made the shidduch, right? So he says, Lachein, we're learning about marriages, we're learning about chuppah. Lachein, and therefore, Lifnei HaChuppah HaMinhag Hu She'Chatan Mechaseh Et Pnei HaKala, the minhag is that the chosin covers the kala's face. Hu Be'etzem Omeir La, it's basically saying to the kala, Kulam Ro'im Otanu, everybody sees us. Aval Borei Olam Yodea Shezeh Sod, but the creator of the world, he knows that there's a real deep secret in this relationship. Covering something that already suggests that there's a secret here. Sod matok, sod kadosh, a very sweet secret, a very deep secret. What's the difference between the people of Israel and the rest of the nations? Everybody serves God in some way. But the Jewish people have secrets with God. Kol Shabbat Hisod. Shabbos is a secret. Kol Yom Tov Hisod. Every holiday is a secret. In other words, to the world, they don't, and they don't, they see Jews not working on Shabbos. They're saying, "What's the matter with you guys? You're lazy or something?" Right? They just see us not working. They don't see that there's a secret there. Okay. Kol boker, kishani meniach tefillin, husod gadol. Every morning when I put on tefillin, it's a secret, right? On the surface, it just looks like I'm putting something on with leather straps, right? Kol pam shani mistakel al hayiradim sheli is a sod gadol. Every time I'm looking at my children, it's a secret. Understand? So this is the essence of what he's saying over here. In other words, that when the chosn is going to cover your face tomorrow, b'sha'at tova, right? Basically saying, there's everybody sees us, but there's something secret between us. There's something so deep that other people don't really see us. Only you and I and Hashem know it. Okay, so Bechol, you remember where we stopped?
Yes.
By the word Yiradim, right? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Shkoyach. So what's your secret? Give regards to the boys, eh?
Yeah, well.